One thing I've learned is to really not use that word. So I'd like to talk about how remarkable human beings are and how remarkable the human brain is compared to other brains. And really the question is, what makes the human brain remarkable? The problem with the word special is that it means that it's above all others and it's an outlier and it's literally extraordinary. The rules of evolution apply to everybody else but not to the human brain, not to humans. And I make that distinction with even more care since we found out that really the human brain is just a scaled up primate brain. If you do simple math to figure out from what we've learned about the composition of different brains, how many neurons go into different brains of different sizes, if you do simple math to calculate what a generic primate brain with 86 billion neurons would look like, and 86 billion neurons is what we found to be on average how many neurons humans have in the brain, then what you find out is that this generic primate would have a brain very much like ours, weighing 1.2 kilos, and that brain would go in the body very much like ours, weighing some 65, 66 kilos. So we really are that generic primate. What's so remarkable about it, I would say, is that we have the largest number of neurons in the cerebral cortex. And with all that we know about the cerebral cortex and how it's involved with complex behavior, then it makes sense that if you have the most neurons in the cerebral cortex, that must endow you with really remarkable cognitive abilities. We know that from that, let's say, 2,000 calories that we use per day, 1/4, 25% are consumed by your brain alone. So the human brain is only 2% of the body in terms of size, but it uses 25% of the body's energy resources. So it certainly looks special in that sense. But it turns out that when you look directly at numbers of neurons, the human brain costs exactly as much energy as you would expect it to cost, simply because what we've found that the amount of energy that a brain costs is just a linear function of how many neurons it has. What we found out is that exactly because of this very large energetic cost of having a large number of neurons, is that the answer is our ancestors must have come up with a way to get more energy out of the food that they ate. If some change like that had not happened, we would not be here, from the very simple fact that when you do the math, you realize that if we modern humans ate like our ape cousins or our other primate cousins eat, which is a raw foods diet, we would have to spend over 9.5 hours per day, every single day, looking for food, getting that food, eating that food, and then starting all over again, because you have to do it non-stop for 9.5 hours. We know that gorillas and orangutans cannot do that. At the very most, they spend 8.5 hours per day looking for food, and when food becomes scarce, they lose weight, which really means that that's the top limit. So we could not be here with the large brain, with the large number of neurons that we have, if it wasn't for our ancestors coming up with a new way to get more calories in less time. And I think, and a number of other people also think this, that the simplest way, the simplest explanation, which also matches the fossil record for getting more energy out of food, is when you learn to cook the food that you eat. And there's very good evidence that around 1.5 million years ago, our ancestors learned to do that. And that coincides very well with the point in brain evolution, where the increase in brain size, which had been happening, all of a sudden just takes off. And this is us. This is the human lineage. So I would say, if you ask me what is the thing that makes us humans, what's responsible for the remarkable cognitive abilities that we have, I would say it's because we have a remarkable number of neurons in the cerebral cortex that no other species has. And what do humans do that really no other species does? And that I think is what got us that remarkable number of neurons. My answer is we cook. No other animal cooks its food. And I think that completely changed our evolutionary history. All the while, maintaining a brain that's made just the way that you would expect for a primate. So that's why I try really hard to never say that humans are special. We are remarkable, but not special. Eu acho que é, o fim é aqui mesmo.